guys, Garage 79R. Don't mind the blurriness over here, right there. My screen is cracked. I don't know if you noticed in past videos, every once in a while it gets weird on one side of the lens. The crack is right next to it. So just ignore that. It just happens to be showing up pretty good in this view. So working on Floyd today, and I'm going to be doing a brake upgrade, but it's not quite an upgrade. Putting a Camry 1-inch master cylinder on it, stock on tercel 3/4 inch. It's not going to give you more braking performance because technically you're putting less pressure. Think of it as, you know, if you're taking like a thumbtack and you put like 10 pounds of pressure on it versus like your thumb itself, you're spreading the load out. But the biggest thing is it has more displacement. So the take up is better. So right now my pedal goes down, like if you press the brake pedal down now, it goes past the gas pedal at idle. Like it goes about halfway through its travel before it's doing anything. And I don't like that. I like a high pedal. So this is going to solve that because it's going to allow me to basically take up the slack sooner, and then I'll start building pressure. Did some math. I think I'm losing like 70% of pressure going to a 1-inch as it drips on me. I thought I cleaned most of it out. It dripped on the car. So basically I'm just going to have to press harder, but that's fine. I'm good. This is what I used to run the same master on my white car. So I know it works. I like the way it feels. I got plenty of leg strength so I can push the pedal through the floor if I need to. So I'm gonna suck the basically new fluid back out. I can't reuse it. I got some different fluid I want to try out that's got very similar numbers, but it's a fraction of the cost of that ATE. And we'll get going on it. I'm also going to service my front brake calipers too, because I can't remember if I lubed them when I put them in. I normally do, but I think when I put them in, I ran out and I was kind of in a pinch. So I'm going to go ahead and just clean everything and service and lubricate everything while I'm. First things first, I'll take my Mighty back and we'll suck out as much as I can out of the reservoir. That's going to take a few minutes to suck out. Next shot's going to be taking the wheels off because I got to change them anyway for racing. And I'll start disassembling brake calipers. Got the wheel off. These are my Mazda Protege rotors, Toyota Corolla calipers, but all the hardware is the same. So 14s on the calipers and then 17s holding the bracket to the spindle. So first things first, we want to take the slack out. You don't have to pull hard, just kind of lean back on it. That just gives you a little extra room. Basically, we're pushing the piston back in and it's pushing the fluid back out, but there's not much left because I sucked it all out. You'll see me? Good. Try new camera angles here. Now, on Toyotas, at least, they got these things I call spiders. I don't know what the technical term is, but basically, I think they're supposed to help keep the pads from like knocking around, like having knockback or whatever. But I don't know how effective they really are, but I always reuse them because they must be there for a reason. So they just go in these little holes. Pads out. You see, I got plenty of life left. These have 10,000 miles on them. Label that in the front. So yeah, these are definitely dry. Of course, the heat comes on. So So, excellent shape. And these are just like centric, I think these are ceramics. I'll have to try to figure that out. And there's some copper in them, I don't know. You see the copper bits, sort of. But I think the pads were like $8. Pull the cap bracket off because it's a little bit easier to take it off and clean everything. So there's the caliper bracket. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pop each one of these. It's hard to do this while looking at the camera. These clips off, and clean everything, lubricate everything, put it back in. These are pretty good. These were remanufactured parts when I put them on, so they're pretty good. Another thing I want to do is lubricate the pins. Get the fresh lube on. Don't have to smother them too bad, just make sure they're all coated. I'm using CRC synthetic brake caliper grease. CRC is a grassroots sponsor, so I use their products. What I like to do, to help prevent corrosion, I like to put a dab of this stuff behind the clips. Don't have to, it's just what I do. Just a light dab. Just like that, smear it around. This is your clips, as I just stabbed myself in the finger. So I'll clean them off real quick. Put them right back into place. Now these clips are actually stainless steel. They don't really get bad, but the stuff gets on them. I think they use 400 series. So just clean them up good. I'm just using an old stainless steel wire brush. I've had it for many years. It's kind of morphed itself into almost the perfect shape. And this is pretty much what I only use it for: cleaning brake caliper, shims and whatnot. Alright, so those are in. We're good to go. Go ahead. Also, see, I have a little bit of anti-seize on them, but I'm going to go ahead and wire wheel these and clean them up. You also use brake caliper grease. It's sort of like anti-seize, especially since I'm running a little low on. Next thing I'll do, I'll clean off the corners here. Now sometimes when you put new stuff on, it the coating, the paint is a little thick, and sometimes the pads bind. You want to make sure that they are able to move freely in there, or it's not doing you any good. So sometimes you gotta wire wheel them, and even take the grinder to them and just take slight bits off to make sure they can move freely. You don't want to move too much, because then they can get cockeyed and sideways, but they need to be able to move. But these I know are good because I've already been running them. I'm just doing a service. Dab, dab. So basically, smear, smear, smear. That's what I do. Drop them in, try not to touch anything. Now see, they can move fine. There you go. And then also, well, put the spiders back in first. Another thing I like to do, if you're still with me, now this is clean. These are clean. Normally if you're servicing some older stuff, they're a little rusty. But I do the same thing. I like to smear brake grease all over everything. Doesn't have to be a whole lot, just a light film. Just on the contact spots. And that actually helps with rust, preventing rust. You don't have to put anything on these bolts. You can see they're perfect because they're inside. They don't see any weather. The outside does, but that doesn't matter. And then someone might go, where are you going to torque things to? I've been doing these for so long. If you've been working on cars long enough, for most things you get a feel. If you do anything critical like rods, cam caps, main bearing caps, wheel bearing, nuts, lug nuts, I always torque. But just about a lot of the other accelerating things, just about everything else, I just have enough feel. I've been doing it for so long. So basically what I normally do. Slack is out, it's snug, and that works for me. So there you go, it's serviced. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side. The next part you'll see me is changing out the master. Side by side. One thing I gotta do is I cut this so I can splice it into that. That way it's plug and play for the brake light. Okay, so I got the brakes done. I didn't film a whole lot more because Austin came over to help me do the bleeding and whatnot, and we got to talking. A lot of it also was I couldn't really place my camera in a good spot to kind of like watch what I was doing with the master cylinder. Basically, unbolt it, bolt the other one back on. I had to splice the harness for the low warning light. I matched white to white. The stock wires had a full black and a black with a white stripe, and the Camry wires had a white with a red stripe. I think it works in both directions, but the light's not on, and I hooked Camry white to the white stripe and it seems to work. So, but the brake pedal is awesome. It literally goes down about an inch and it's fully engaged. So, and that's actually still above, when you push down and it starts to do something, it's still above the gas pedal, which is what I want. I want to basically, sometimes when I'm doing performance driving, I usually drive 2 feet. I really do, even with my automatic. But sometimes I tend to prop myself with my left leg, and I want to be able to roll my right foot and control it. So I'm there. It works perfectly. Feels phenomenal. This is the brake fluid I used. It's Penison Super.4 See the pinches in. I got it AutoZone for like $13, $14. So it's got 509 degree Fahrenheit boiling point and a wet boiling point of 329. The ATE fluid, the numbers are a little bit higher. Now, after tomorrow's event, I don't really plan on tracking this car much more. This still gives me more than enough headroom for plenty of brake temperature. So if I go out in the mountains and start really using the brakes, I should have plenty of headroom. So this should be pretty good. It's definitely better than your average, like .3. I think .3, I'm trying to remember, I think .3 was like, it's fine for most cars, for street cars, but if you're doing any kind of performance driving, you definitely need a higher braking boiling point. And that's like, this is more for German cars that can see high speeds, so they dictate higher boiling points. So I hope the video is somewhat of use, especially like servicing the front calipers. It does helps with the feel, everything moving the way it should. Like I said, the car feels great now. So I'll shoot some video for tomorrow at Track Cross, and I'll see you sometime next week. Have a good one.